All right, today I'm going to be talking about a strategy from Sun Tzu's Art of War. It's called the death ground strategy. Essentially, it's a at all costs mentality. Back is against the wall. You have to fight to get out alive. It's essentially fight or die. So you're leaving yourself one option. Now, I'm going to talk about it in the sphere of fitness and nutrition, like how to use this strategy to drive results, increased focus, productivity, kind of however you want to see that. But essentially, it's giving yourself one option and fighting like hell or failing. Sounds dramatic. It is a little bit, but I also think it is highly productive. It can be. And I'm going to go over the pros and cons as I see them. And, you can decide if it's something you can use in your life as you're pursuing a goal or whatever that may be. But let's start with the cons. So the things that I do not like about these kinds of strategies is inevitably you're focused more on the outcome. Like let's just say you have a vacation coming up in 6 weeks and you just want to get a little leaner. Well, the goal then is to get leaner, and the outcome you are expecting is to get leaner. And the at all costs mentality, it really doesn't leave any room for interpretation there. You're focused on getting leaner. If you do not get leaner, it's kind of a failure. In this case, not to say that you couldn't pull lessons from that, but it's all or nothing, right? So I find that it can lead to burnout if you're not in a good headspace and you're not very clear on your intentions of, okay, I am running this for 6 weeks and then I am done. And come hell or high water, results or no results, I'm going to do everything in my power to make this happen. In those cases, if you're clear with the expectations and what you need to do and how to do it, then personally, I find value in that. But some of the other things that you need to check, cons, if you will, it just isn't flexible. Given that you're working on a shorter time frame, depending on if you've got a family, any events in that time, it just leaves you basically no room, no margin for error. And again, being real honest with yourself about the season of life you're in, and if you can implement a strategy like this, can be the difference between actually pulling it off and hitting the results and not. So I think checking your mindset and where your head is at and your beliefs around your ability to achieve this goal are all crucial when you're employing a strategy like death ground. That name always cracks me up, but it sounds so dramatic because these people were actually fighting in war, and at that time it really was life or death. So thankfully, and for our use, it isn't. But shifting gears here and moving into the pros, and really you can just look at it as just kind of like arguing the opposite of the cons. But I believe it's highly effective as essentially what you're doing is you're clearing out the white noise. You're just focusing on the only thing that matters, this one goal. You're directing all your energy, your attention, your focus, your behaviors, your thought processes are all going to achieve this one goal. And so that white noise, it's just one option. I'm either progressing towards that goal every day and in my actions, they're aligned with that goal, or they're not. It's very simple. So also with that, again, you know, even if you didn't hit the goal, obviously there's some disappointment around that. You can feel like you failed, which, like I said, it can be this negative thing, lead to burnout. But if you check your mindset there, if you're saying like, hey, I pushed for 6 weeks and I learned like a lot of what I can do without in life, and for periods of time, whether that be alcohol or fast food or eating out in general, or, you know, staying up late, you really learn what serves you, what's pertinent in your life, like what really checks the box for you each day. And, you know, kind of to end with the pros, I know I've given only a few, but I feel like they're pretty substantial. But you know, going into this, it's only a short time frame. Like, this is something, a strategy to kind of implement when it's like at most, you know, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, maybe a little bit longer, but not much. You know, this isn't something I would run for 6 months, or if I had a longer time frame, I'd break it into chunks where essentially you're going into what you could say a bulk maintenance or a cut, however you're looking at it, then maintaining those that progress to make sure the changes you are implementing can stick long term. I think that's key in all of this. And then, you know, you can better plan around family events or work events, travel, vacations, holidays, those types of things. And I think it could be a really cool way to kind of, it's like a sprint with a marathon, and you're just doing both in different periods throughout the year. But, you know, to kind of recap, even for if you're not like super intense and it's not something, the name doesn't really resonate with you, I still think you can take away the principles of it and understand that it's a short-term strategy. It's not something that you want to do indefinitely, because inevitably I believe it would lead to burnout and maybe just not liking the thing you are not only trying to accomplish, but if it's in like working out and you're trying to like build this habit, you could just end up hating that. And that's the opposite of what we're trying to accomplish. So yeah, Death Ground strategy. Please leave some comments. Do you think that'd be something you would be interested in? Have you ever done anything like it? I'm sure it's called by another name. But please go ahead and hit the like button, subscribe. My name is Aaron Sanchez, and I will see you next video.